probably see already that many fund managers, many people in the investment world are getting laid off, getting fired. Poor kids are coming out of graduate schools with MBAs. They cannot get jobs, and if they can get jobs, they're far below their expectations. So it's already happening. You see the financial firms everywhere. Most of them are having difficulties. They had a good year every once in a while, but the last few years have not been great in finance, and that includes in fund managers as well. Many changes taking place. We now have ETFs, ETNs. That's really damaging the investment management business, because it's much, much cheaper to buy a ETN or an ETF, and you don't have to worry about, as an investor, you don't have to worry about capital gains in there, because if I buy a mutual fund or turn it over to an investment manager, every time he or she sells, then I've got to pay a capital gains tax. If I just buy the ETF or the ETN, I own it. Eventually, if I sell it, I have to worry about the tax. And as you know, investment managers are expensive. ETNs are very cheap. So there are many things going on which are going to continue to affect the investment management business as well. And again, we've got this gigantic glut of MBAs that have been cranked out and are being cranked out around the world. In 1958, America graduated 5,000 MBAs. Nobody else graduated any. Now, America graduates over 200,000 per year, and the rest of the world produces thousands too. There's a huge glut. All these kids are sitting around in dorm rooms dreaming about an MBA, and hedge funds are going to be sorely, sorely disappointed. I own Japanese shares. I'm not buying anything right now. The markets have been going up like a rocket. If it consolidates, and unless something else happens, I will buy more Japanese shares. At the moment, or at least a couple of weeks ago, I bought some yen because everybody was negative on the yen. The numbers were staggering. Something like 98% of investors were negative on the yen. So I don't know if I'm right, but so far I've been right. But usually when you have imbalances like that, if you step in, you're probably going to be okay, at least for a while. So I stepped in. It doesn't always work. So at the moment, I own yen and Japanese shares. The Chinese markets are different from others. When Chinese stock market collapses, I buy shares, and they're for my kids. And I hope that in 70 or 80 years, they're going to look back and say, he must have been a smart old man, because he bought us all these shares, and now look how much we have. If you'd sold America in 1913, you might have looked smart for a while, but over the next 70 or 80 years, you didn't look too smart at all. So that's my view of China. Everything else I have is I buy and sell, except my Chinese shares. But they haven't collapsed, in my view, since the fall of 2008. I still own them. I periodically buy more of the currency. It's not that you can't just pick up the phone and buy a lot of renminbi, but I always, when I can, I buy more renminbi. But other than that, I haven't invested anything else in China for nearly 5 years. Every country in Europe is going to have higher debt in 2013 than in 2012. They all talk about austerity, but the facts are totally different. Every one of them is going to have higher debt in 2014 than in 2013. So they're not solving the problem. They're trying to get through the next election. The next big one is Germany in the fall of 2013. So, yeah, unfortunately, Europe as we know it, and as the bureaucrats in Brussels would like for it to be, cannot and will not survive. This is the only time in recorded history that I know of when every major country and every major central bank is printing a lot of money. The Japanese said in November, December, we will print unlimited, that was their word, unlimited amounts of money. So then Dr. Bernanke said, well, wait guys, I can do that too. And then the English said, well, we can do it too. So you've got everybody running around printing money. What's happening, in my view, is artificial. I mean, it's happening, and a lot of people are having a good time. Skeptics like me aren't having such a good time, but usually when you've had lots of money printing and artificial stimulus, it has ended badly. Now, they say, oh, we're going to hype things up, going to get things going, and then everything will be okay. I hope so. Again, that's a lot of theory, that in the past, the execution has been different from the theory. You can ask me in 5 years.